It's tickling. Okay, we have a runner.
It's bothering me sitting over there.
David, it
Ready
is
to go?
now. It is now
Yeah,
running.
it's past time.
Yeah, I know.
We're not in the present anymore.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh-oh. Now something is going. Something needs to be tightened.
I had a friend named
Okay.
Odette Wald Myers, but she was
Yeah, it's the handle.
She and her sister.
There you go. You are on, David. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Their mother and father said,
Hello. Hello.
divorced him out of
Hello.
Hello. Give him a round of applause for getting
Don't
started.
make me yell. You'll be sorry. Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents, is welcome, but we ask you to respect the mic. Keep conversation to a whisper. Put phones on mute or vibrate, spin around the room, and do not distract the speakers or the amplifiers, or pass in front of them or behind them, and do not transmute through them. Also keep to the time limit, usually 5 minutes, but nowadays, or nowanights, 4 is better, 3 is exquisite, and haiku, we love you. Have 2 shows, a 7-ish, 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 and the 8:40-ish. All aboard? So by going short, you will shrink. Now look what you've done! I'm melting! On your time. It helps get everyone on the mica. On the mica and the schist. I'm give you no schist. Sac Red's longest standing tradition, or sitting or rolling tradition. If you want to be in the loop, join a group. Don't snoop with an opt-in email list. See one of the hosts. Throw things at him or her. A Facebook page, and we stream live in little toy boats. Thanks to Mr. Natural, thanks to Mr. Natural. I could go on for days about Mr. Natural, but I won't. See the URL on the wall. See you are there. URL, see it there. See it there? You can move in from home. Family and friends can see you live. An ongoing theme, never doubt, that a small group of committed citizens change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So, said Margaret Mead, the evening's theme is...
Tomb essence.
Tomb essence. Oh, punsters, tomb essence. Yeah, so swell along with me. I'm on my way to the stars. No.
But it's too
Okay.
hard.
Also, next week's feature will be a double feature with shorts and cartoons, and it is, hello,
Give me a moment.
a moment. We have a moment. Well, we might have a newsreel. Next week's feature is
Sage Curtis.
Sage Curtis. Well, there's a name to conjure with.
Yeah.
The keynote is, ba-da-ba, Tommy, I want my mommy. Our feature is
Preeti Vangani.
huh?
Preeti. Preeti
Preeti
Vangani.
Vangani is our feature. Okay,
She's not here yet, but she's will be.
and I'm going to give you the Queen's Wave. Okay. As for the second show, last word will be the
The
next.
signing we don't know.
Oh, the Brit.
Britt Peter.
The Brit who is not brittle. He's not peanut either. The mini features. Mwah, mwah. Shut up, Erdreich. And we have fabulous door prizes. We're giving away Harpo Marks, and you can take them home only if you have a leash and cuffs.
Harpo's not here. Marco is.
Harpo Mark.
Marco Harp.
Marco Harps.
Thank you very much.
His doppelganger. We got some doppelganger here, yeah?
Okay, let me do the prizes.
Prizes.
Thank you so much.
Leonard Nimoy, I Am Spock, the audio book.
You don't look like Spock.
American Poetry Review from October 2019, so it's relatively recent.
Ooh. Current.
Anthology from here.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
Tom Boulian.
And a word on everybody's lips.
Loves in need of love today.
Where do you get these things?
Inherit the Wind.
On the street. TV one. It's most of it on the street.
The Man to Send Rain Clouds, Contemporary Stories by American Indians.
I want that one.
And then The Interview with a Vampire.
Anne
the most
Rice,
outstanding
come on.
supernatural bestseller of Anne Rice.
Look at all this zombie crap on TV. Thanks, Anne Rice. Thank you for opening the door for this crud.
Hey, watch your language.
Hey, I'm just getting started. Okay.
All right, finish it up. You gotta go.
Be advised.
Oh, I
Be
didn't sign up.
advised, although we record the evening, if an audience member wishes to do so, please ask permission. Siri and Alexa are in love, and they have electronic vibration. We will assume you've done so. That is, contacted both Siri and Alexa at the same time and interrupted and given them a short circuit. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you blindly, as someone like to say.
No.
My head is too messed
We need the sign-in sheet.
I have to sign up.
Because otherwise you don't know who's coming up.
I can't see what's happening.
All right. And you're the keynote?
Keynote.
Give Tommy a round of applause. He's the keynote. Let's get this day started.
Okay, stop. So, I'm going to do an excerpt from Johnny Got His Gun. I don't know how many people remember this. It is the definitive, quintessential, in fact, anti-war novel of all times. It was also a movie in 1971. Anyway, so if you don't know the story, yeah, it's about a soldier who gets blown up and survives, loses both arms, both legs, and his face, and ultimately has to communicate with people by tapping his head on the pillow in Morse code. And this is the point in the book in which the military idiots are asking him what he wants. This is part of his response. He says he wants to be put in a glass box. And he says, "Take me into the schoolhouses, all the schoolhouses in the world. Suffer the little children to come unto me. Isn't that right? They may scream at first and have nightmares at night, but they'll get used to it because they've got to get used to it, and it's best to start them young. Gather them around my case and say, 'Here, little girl, here, little boy, come and take a look at your daddy. Come and look at yourself. You'll be like this when you grow up to be great, big, strong men and women. You'll have a chance to die for your country. And you may not die. You may come back like this. Not everybody dies, little kiddies. Closer, please. You over there against the blackboard. What's the matter with you? Quit crying, you silly little girl. Come over here and look at the nice man who was a soldier boy. You remember him, don't you? Don't you remember, little crybaby, how you waved flags and saved tinfoil and put your savings in thrift stamps? Of course you do, silly. Now here's the soldier you did it for. Take me wherever there are parliaments and diets and congresses and chambers of statesmen. I want to be there when they talk about honor and justice and making the world safe for democracy and 14 points and self-determination of peoples. I want to be there to remind them I haven't got a tongue to stick into the cheek. I haven't got either. But the statesmen have tongues. The statesmen have cheeks. Let them talk more ammunition and airplanes and battlefields and tanks and gases. Why, of course, we've got to have them. Take me into your churches, your great towering cathedrals that have to be rebuilt every 50 years because they're destroyed by war. Carry me in my glass box down the aisles where kings and priests and brides and children at their confirmation have gone so many times before to kiss a splinter of wood from a true cross on which was nailed the body of a man who was lucky enough to die. Set me high on your altars and call on God to look down upon this murderous little children, this dearly beloved children. Wave over me the incense I can't smell. Swill down the sacramental wine I can't taste. Drone out the prayers I can't hear. Go through the old gestures for which I have no legs or arms. Chorus out the hallelujahs I can't sing. Bring them out loud and strong for me, your hallelujahs, all of them, because I know the truth and you don't, you fools, you fools, you fools. And,
Was that the
Yeah.
English patient?
What?
That wasn't the movie. Was that the English patient?
No.
Oh,
No.
He was Johnny Got His Gun.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I'm going to end with a very, very, very short little tribute to Elijah Cummings, who recently died, the U.S. representative from Boston. This is Baltimore.
All right.
Did I say Boston? I meant Baltimore.
It's a B.
Baltimore, right.
They both begin with B.
This is a poem, very short little poem that he read in 1996 in his first floor speech in Congress. And it's a poem called Just a Minute by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, who was a civil rights leader. I only have a minute, 60 seconds in it, forced upon me. I did not choose it, but I know I must use it. Give account if I abuse it. Suffer if I lose it. Only a little minute, but eternities in it. Elijah Cummings used every minute, right up to his death, to fight for the rights and dignity of all human beings.
Yay! And who's after Owen?
After Owen is
On deck is
Oh,
Robert.
Robert. Okay. And he knows.
you okay?
All right. Give him a round. Come on.
All right, it's called Birthday Poem. It was my birthday last Saturday. I turned 75.
75?
75. man.
Look good, bro.
Thank you.
Looking good.
Thank you. Today is, I turned 75. Arrive at the Trieste, the Waldorf. Connive, it is though I am in New York. Time of play and of work, and of someone of the way I took to be spirit. Say what I mean and how I want to mean it. See myself as others see me and not as I see myself. And I might go absolutely mad. I fight people's opinions as though it were a swarm of flies. They say the truth. I tell no lies. Poema. The day after I turned 75. Yes, it's good to be alive. There are days ahead. I paddle in my mind. Sigh, a whisper, a note here. Now and then there is here. Bow and scrape to the here and now. It was yesterday and a grand ball. It is tomorrow. A poem is like a race. It begins with rhyme, then it breaks to the pole of free verse. You are free, Whitman. Rejoice your words. Verily, I seek out for help and solace. The rest is all. Send karma, and then some more to place at my disposal. Score one for the restive and the festive. Seek more. Stand up, you will be counted. Around the world in 80 days. Ground and sound, there is more opportune in June, and the moon will wax and wane to the sane and selfless. Hurrah for the more to score and find more, never to put me in a bind. Looking out. Out of my ears there is a noise deafening and vocal to boys and men. All day there is silence, the silence of something to say along with my friends. The others that say this, say that. I had my druthers every once in a while. Sticks and stones are everywhere. Out there is sand and rocks and kelp. The tide is out, but I hesitate to wade. The water is cold and I am afraid. I made a round back to the highway where there are cars whizzing east and west on to who knows where. At the beach. There is the beach, the ocean, bathers and their families, those grand inquisitors and their children. The waves keep sloshing and rolling around their legs, splashing and sloshing the dogs and men, the women lying on the sand with the sand up to their knees, talking to one another. Poema, I start here. The rain is of faith and faith of sane and sorry. Sand and surf. Sand, juniors go forth and win in their way. Means are to scream. Say what you mean. Belong and cry to the rocks. And for now and forever, the rock and sway of the cars, the L, the J, the K, the M and the N. Purpose and force I have very little of. Cramps and stamps, these lines are mine, not yours. I write to write. Poema. Sitting pretty on the highway, reading about the contrary notions that come to my mind, I have notions of a kind of Malay of the sort that affects my body, amore frelense. My poet Wallace Stevens. Stow it in the back of your ever-loving mind of minds. Never say die. As a poet, lines will come, and I hope they should. Of course I would. They could tell of the spell that has been cast over me. Rain, stay away.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to make a quick announcement. Thank you. A couple of things. When we were talking about the door prizes, I forgot to mention, of course, there's being the keynote, which you saw Tommy do. There are 2 co-pilots that we have, which you can see we have here, just so people know that. The mini feature, second half has 8. Who's the mini feature tonight?
Right behind you.
Oh, David's the mini feature tonight. You'll see him in the second half. The last word starts and ends the second show. And this envelope contains funding of the Jack Foley honorary sandwich. Thank you for that. Oh, and then choosing the theme, thank you. So will you kindly cut these cards? And since you signed an extra number, I'm choosing the Jack Foley honorary sandwich.
I thought I could be a mini feature. That's for next week. That's for lunchtime. And I really signed up for tonight.
I don't know. I can't look at that right now. Thank you very much.
All right, are we waiting for Rob?
No, we're waiting for Robert, and I have to.
Robert, that's right. Robert.
Who's number 4?
We need the.
Okay, who's number? Owen. Owen, you have won the honorary sandwich tonight. Thank you. And then, you're number 20. You're it.
So I'm a.
Oh, no, the mini feature is this person.
That's what I
right there.
signed in under theirs, that's what I'm saying, I have to put it somewhere else.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, there. You're on the open mic. You're good.
Excellent.
All right. You're
Even
fine.
though my name's crossed out now.
No, it's,
I
well, yeah,
crossed
but
it
I know
out.
that you wrote that, and that's where you want to
Okay,
be.
you'll
so,
remember, your
yeah,
brain
yeah.
is like a steel trap.
I know. All right, sorry about that. Give him a nice round of applause. We had to take care of some business. I'm so sorry I had to do that. My incompetence knows no bounds.
As always, a pleasure to be here. This is called Forgiven.
All right.
You're innocent? I'm innocent. They're innocent? We're all innocent. But here's the thing. Innocent of what?
Huh?
I deserve this. I don't deserve that. You deserve that. You don't deserve this. They deserve all of this. They don't deserve any of that. We all deserve that. None of us deserves this. But here's the thing about deserve. Deserves got nothing to do with anything.
I like that.
And then after Hal is Edward.
Already, so.
The Honorable Hal Robbins is before you now. A man of choice, voice, wit, and merit.
Well, you say that now. To the theme of tomb essence. First, an anonymous limerick. Possessed by the devils of doom, he made love to a corpse in a tomb, but directed his passion in decorous fashion under the sheets, I presume. And then also to the point, Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with but one thought, to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this is the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, coveted her and me. Yes, this is the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind blew out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of others far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above or the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I see the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
That's your cue, Edward.
Thank you. Edward, my cue. Come on, Playful. Bring it up out there. Very rare. A rare treat. Can't be beat. even if you have Dave P.
These are the Carmen poems. Day. Carmen in a city north where politicians speak at Civil War monuments to Yankees, at stadiums for them on Memorial Day, wakes to horns. 10 o'clock, parade. She stays in bed, listening. Then it is over. She is up, it is noon. Her friends come knocking. Carmen, get up, it's the crack of noon. She makes an entrance in a rose-red robe. The next is afternoon. I pause not for, only because I have to get my breath. That poem was spoken by Barbara, and then afternoon is spoken by Michael. Her ringed fingers and lace, the soft green mound, her song, 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 her song, song, lilting, then the lighthouse, then a bay summer fog, then the willing, flowing wild, then yellow eyes, yes, yellow eyes, drugged. Now Barbara speaks. In the same afternoon, open at throat, walls white parchment, hair, arm, chest, sleeve rolled, bulging pants, leg, nipple, wet, blanket, rainbows, swelling, quiet, sun, wind, blossoms, belly, thigh, soft, curtain, horizon, tower, tongue, walls, ceiling. The next one is called, the next one is voiced by Margaret, and it's a terse verse. Flutter away, pretty bird, haul away, heavy-footed. The next one is called Morning, and Michael again voices this. The morning when you left me, goodbye, you said, I, in the French bed we had but didn't share. Later, Betty came to say goodbye, to care, and give your kiss. She shared a morning bread, then took the stars and made away to Germany. And then, I was a silly fellow. The next one is voiced by Ruth. It's called Song. A boy and a girl together aren't anymore together. Oh no, no more. Not this year, not ever any year. A time, some months in last year, a lost boy and his dear one would touch each other and smile soft smiles. But now, no more. Oh no, no more. Not this year, not ever any year. His dove has fallen, he has no love. His dove has fallen, he has no love. His dove has fallen. The next one is Litany, voiced by Michael. Soul of my soul, fire within me, passion without end, growing tree, fruitful branch, body I love, face aglow, matchless friend, foolish silly one, hopeful one, growing one, maker of dreams, rustler of thought, thief of my love, plunder my heart. It is all one and enough that you do it, but never stop. You are appetite, you are harvest, cloudy night, storm, wind from the south, shady tree, racing pulse, singer and song. And one I must learn one day to do without. And the next one is voiced by Ruth, Lampedusa. Her hot, a child, delirious with fever, confused, stunned. I trace your memory, bury my head in the rainbow, taste the coral honey, sear my palm, lips travel the soft inside, grasp and kiss, you sprawl, possessing. And the next one is called Corn Natural. Claire voices this. Woe in the living land, Corn Natural. Mourn in the dying hand, Corn Natural. The vineyards are heavy, some clusters are ready, but the harvest is meager. in Conterall. Next is called Wonder, and it's voiced by Barbara. Stark, splayed, sterile, inflammable our desires are, fallow, loose, wet, floored as we cry out, fallen, eyeless, bent, minds feverish, knowing death has no beauty, and the end of youth is sick, scabbed, cold. And yet about us, singly, strangely singing, sweating, swelling, limbs tangled together, seeing life's mummers, love making believe with sensual delight. Can such mystery mask be heated in the head? The more. Or another time, more.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
Tommy.
Tommy. Tommy.
Can you hear me?
No, I'm just
Tommy.
I just sent it back because he did the.
This is my own.
Oh, it's on yours. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was my own.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, put the name of the book. Put the name of the book. Because that way I can name it for the reader. There you go.
Okay,
Tommy Overcomer.
okay, to tonight's theme.
Oh my God.
Mae West knew that a hard man is good to find. Tumescence is the whole point. Who wants a flaccid banana? I know they say what goes up must come down, but I assure you, even Newton could defy gravity and keep it up all night. And this is for the folks in Hong Kong. When you find this, I might have already been arrested or killed, he writes, the young protester in Hong Kong. 19 weeks on the streets. Why sue? Goodbye letters, written to parents, girlfriends, hidden in backpacks, in drawers, under mattresses. Signs, no name, just nobody. Could be 15 or 25, male or female, a warrior for freedom, risking career, life, certainly not a nobody. And this is me imagining if a fundamentalist actually came clean and told the truth. If you expect us to care about you, have the decency to be a fetus. Once you're born, you're on your own. Being blown up in war, family too poor to feed you. Beaten up or murdered for being gay or trans. Stranded in a cage, separated from your parents. It's God's will. He has a plan. Don't question it. Don't question us. Our morals are selectively chosen from an ancient book that condones slavery, incest, and many other things we dare not mention. That's why we quote the same 5 passages over and over again. Remember, we have God on our side. We can say or do anything we want and get away with it.
Oh my God.
And finally,
And you can quote him.
And finally, again, I think I'll dedicate this to Elijah Cummings. This is from an old Italian saying, una faccia, una razza, one face, one race, said of Italians and Greeks, said of the peoples of the Mediterranean, applicable to all of us. Una faccia, una razza. Skin color, shape of eyes, size of nose, black hair, red hair, thin, thick lips, Is a rose not a rose if it's pink, not yellow? If it's shallow or an open cup? If it has 7 or 40 petals? Una faccia, una razza. Why is it so difficult for some people to understand?
Oh, they say I'm next.
Dan is the cursive writer.
Yes. And our teacher of the evening has arrived. Preeti is here. Give her a remark. Going to give a signature. He's just got here. I knew it. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. One of my favorite quotes. What am I? Oh, here that is from. Well, it's attributed to Mark Twain, who said, "Humans are the only animal that can be embarrassed or need to be."
No, it's blush. It's blush.
Blush. Thank you. That's it. I knew it was something like that. Humans are the only animal that blush or need to. So this touches on the theme of tomb essence. Am I okay? Am I being? No, I'm good. You're good. All right. I'm good. This is called Long After Time, What Is? And like I'd like to say about this piece, it's several billion years in the making. Long after time, what is? Long, long from now, when all that is now is forgotten, more than simply buried in the mind, or the earth, more than simply covered up but gone, truly dissolved through the immense passages of time, during which the earth has completely reformed its surface and is done turning under its continents, when every human thing has vanished beyond all hope of ever being found, when no living thing recalls our peculiar smell or fear, and life has recovered all that was lost. When all that is now is absolutely gone beyond anyone's knowledge of what once was, is, or might yet be. Long after time, when there is no forgiving or forgetting, when the quiet world simply rests through its long horizons, the moon casts down innocent light, winds are gentle, and the forests have come back into their own. Long after all that we dream of, when even the greatest of our myriad possessions have been broken down into the smallest of grains, and so have become part and parcel to the earth, and each is simply moved by the wind or the water, and all has been absorbed and recycled millions of times through plants and animals. The living carpet that life is upon this world, when there is no evidence of any kind, when matter is so purified until purity is no longer a relative time and all is well. Long after time has gone, when it is no longer a measure, when measuring is no longer needful, when counting is as forgotten as numbers, and sense is a term applied only to the eyes, ears, tongue, nose, or touch. Long after time, what is? What will be? When peace itself is the only thing, and nature is let to do what it does best after the recycling of all that we once were has erased all the details, leveled the playing field once and for all. Long after time, what is the chance that the earth will decide to try once more to weave spirit into matter, manifesting such illumination as bring consciousness into life? And if not in human form, then certainly with a prayer that this time its promise will be kept. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Cursive writer. And then we have our teacher of the evening.
Here it comes.
C.C. Ryder, cursive
So
writer.
C. Ryder.
CW writer.
CW. Wait, it doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, please, thank you.
He's ready. We're ready. Everything's ready.
Well, just remember this. I'm sure it's burned into your ears by now because I see most of the same people. But anyway, just because you steal something doesn't mean you own it.
Yes.
This is still Indian country and you live on a lonely land. Turn me off, dead man. When are we going to realize we're crazy? We keep doing the same things over and over with the same results. Refineries, pipelines, railroad explosions in towns, neighborhoods, petroleum fires, kills, rendering land unusable. Yet we keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Tiresome. Got to keep the lights on, devices running, heat, air conditioning, washers, dryers, TV, kitchen, internet, cars, medical devices, of course. We've had decades to get it right. Most just ignored. Good, say it's all good. You know, we just don't have time for all these alternatives. Won't cover the shortfall, so said. I'm just trying to live my life, you say. What, rest aren't? Something seems to be getting in the way. You just stumbled over it. Yeah, it's your future self laying on the sidewalk, forgotten. Sad what happened, but like you of yesterday, they will just keep on stepping over and over and over. Some went to jobs. Some made more babies. Married, divorced, 1, 2, 3. Bought cars, flew when they could. Had pretty good lives for most melanin-deprived people. Who? You talking about me? You, me. Yeah, give us shelter. Mother's about to unload on us, and you believe the air is flat. God will take care of it, as some Muslims want to drive all non-believers into the sea, while Christians are driven to proselytizing, making money, while doing it and finding ways to bring on Armageddon. Yeah, turn me off, dead man. I see nothing but dead people. Signs. Yeah, born under a bad sign. Sign that burns make women run from fear. Water sign finds out you have fire, willing to make steam. She, he, they, not afraid. Cry, where are you, my baby? Where are you tonight when things get cold, my baby? I'm heater, warmer under blanket coat. Outside, winter heat dissipates, turns to cold. Need someone with fire, fire as inside. Be my pop-up love. Let's rub foreheads, chest to chest. On downward. Only want to do it if it's fun for you and me. Otherwise, seems like it's too much work. Psychedelic. Psychedelicized. We're in diction's names never heard. Yes, ancestors really are talking to you. Perhaps more listening, less talk. Use ancestry wisely. A channel, a way to actually talk to flora, fauna. Talk to with ancestors. When we next rub foreheads together in true friendship, love, remember, love is what it's supposed to be all about. Or is it just... That's right.
Sanderell.
All right. Can you adjust this up so it gets me in there?
All right. Haha.
the part that I like, I get to talk about someone in complimentary, flowing and overflowing manners, so bear with me. She did send me something that I could read from in part, and I will do that. Preeti Vangani is the author of Mother Tongue Apologize. It says here RLFPA editions. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to say that because I want to make sure. She's the winner of the RL Poetry Prize 2017 and holds an MFA in writing from the University of San Francisco. Okay, she does have books, and it says here also she's born and raised in Mumbai and has been writing spoken word poems since 2012. Has been performing at poetry events across various cities in India and more recently in the Bay Area. You were here like a couple years back, and then we thought, where are you going to go? And then we missed you and stuff like that. Her work has also appeared or is forthcoming in the 3-penny review Boat. Is that how I say it? Because it's spelled that way. Noble Gas Boat, and then Noble Gas Quarterly, Juke, and elsewhere. She also writes personal essays that have been featured in BuzzFeed India, Huffington Post, and The Lady's Finger. Now I'm going to add something to all that. She has a voice. Now all poets have voices. You say, yeah, but this person, the voice that she has is interesting to me because she will, in her pieces, and she's easy to find online. There were lots of video clips of this person. So the thing that I noticed was that, like most poets, she'll have a subject she's addressing. Behind that, almost always, and in her case, not always clearly, not overtly, but you understand why. So there's the what, and the why is always there. But then comes the perspective of where that why comes from, and why the why. There's depth that comes in through understanding not only what she's saying, why she's saying it, but where she's coming from in order to make that process happen. There's a language within the language, there's a history behind the perspective, and there's factors that come from culture, conditions, civilization, and then, of course, her personal perspective. So it's a rich feast. You know, even one of her simple pieces, oh, that's about, and then you look into it, and it's remarkable. So simple, but deceptively so, which is not really simple. It's complex. And she's going to come up here now and wow us, so give her a nice round of applause as she comes up here. Preeti Vangani. And I got to make sure this is the right mic. I just got to make sure this is. The other thing is you have to be right into it.
This is good, right? Everybody can hear me? Yay. Thank you so much.
There you go. Perfect.
Alright, thank you so much. I have spent all morning taxing my goddamn voice teaching at a high school. So I'm very glad that there's a microphone and I don't have to tense my vocal cords anymore. Thank you so much for that very generous introduction. I am so glad when people go beyond the 7 condition lines that we are supposed to send out as poets. Thank you so much for your genuine interest in my work. And this is correct. In 2016, on the 8th of August, I moved to the Bay Area for an MFA in writing. This was after 9 years of working in marketing, and I just spun my life around and decided to make writing the very center of it. So thank you so much, and my journey over the last 3 years has been nothing short of magical. I am sorry that I haven't come back to the open mic, but Wednesday evenings is usually when I used to have classes up the hill, and it was hard to sort of make it happen. But very thankful to this venue. This is also where we host the USF open mic, and it's always been a joy to come to a place that supports poetry. Thank you so much. Alright, this piece is called Poems Are Useless, and it takes its first line and its title from the famous Baraka poem, which also begins with the same line. Poems are useless unless they're pepper spray. Poems are useless unless they're pepper spray, girls shouting for change and dancing fearless at night. I want poems that my mother couldn't write in her book of recipes. I want them like golden brown onions, sizzling and done when fully translucent, free of color. Each line a hot skillet of female compromises, melting and done. I want each line to be all of the secrets that my aunts hide under telephone lines over noise of television soap. I want each line to be the missing 21 cents for every dollar in her salary slip. Each line, an ugly line that my sisters conceal under skin lightening foundation. I want a poem for the man whose idea of heaven is an accidental brush with a woman's side boob. Each her and her and her, a particle of raw dust birthing storms. I want each poem to be a speck of dust, a female dust that cooks, creates, cradles, but never settles. Thank you. I'm going to read something that I wrote last night because I always need guinea pigs to find out how this is going.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such amazingly warm guinea pigs. Give it up for yourselves. All right, sharp objects. Before I do that, I just wanted to, the only context you need to know is that over the last 3 years when I was in school, I developed this book called Mother Tongue Apologize, and I'm going to read from that. It's my first collection of poems. And the book is for my mother, who we lost in 2008 to a very long and serious spate of illness. And most of what I talk about has its roots in that. So this is the third day after her funeral. Sharp objects. I walked to our hall having cut the tiniest hole in the restaurant's chutney packet. Hand my father the scissor to cut open the tied bag of medu vadas, already losing their brown crunch. He motions for the metal to be put down, then lifts up the scissors in his hands. We believe that passing sharp things by hand can lead to a fight. We've believed this for generations. The marigolds on my mother's funeral frame are still breathing and are still alive. We share a bowl, eat the dosa straight from the single leaf it came wrapped in. Less mess, less dishes. We are now a ministry of less. We are 4 eye bags and a race to the TV remote's volume high button. I mute the possibility that my father skipped on her treatment, like a chutney that's clever enough to never let its final ingredient be known. My father holds back his medium well decision to already remarry. I swallow the sambar's drumstick whole with skin, it pinches my throat. I ask the channel to be changed to comedy. He leaves to wash his hands. I would be able to identify his agitated gargling from planets away. The scissor lies split open wide between what's left over. Why isn't mother smiling as wide as she used to in this photo we've chosen of her? If she were here, 2 things would be different. At least 2. 1, no takeout. 2, no blades while eating. She could untie even the most invisible knots with just her bare hands. Thank you. Chautha. Chautha means the 4th day after the funeral. In this dream I have of mother, she still hasn't lost her hair. When she arrives, she doesn't speak. In this dream, she doesn't speak. She stands still, as if for a fitting. Still as I stood at 6, baby teeth missing as she measured the holes of my arms for a robot costume. Her silence, prudent and willful, as if she would be taxed per word she said. Time sits between us, getting colder like the suggested minutes for thawing on a recipe. I tell her, don't worry about me, Mama. I'm like super wise now. In 4 days. I've been reading the Bhagavad Gita and shit all its heavy duty parts too. And Krishna says, the body is only a vehicle. I mind the soul is its driver. She looks at my steering hands and back at my face the way she looked at me when I faced my first stage. She taught me how to be a robot in 1991. As she fixed the tin foil head on me, I rehearsed my speech, its opening line, I am the pinnacle of the human mind. I wake up feeling like something between a god and a robot. But in the dream she doesn't speak, she looks at me the way I saw her from under my guise. as we waited in the wings, and she kept pricking tiny holes in my tin foil head, making several inconspicuous openings for me, just so that I could keep breathing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Unremembered. One way of bringing you back, mother, is to observe your garlanded frame as a piece of art, dying, obsolete, unappreciated between origami and handmade candles on the second shelf. Another is to bring back the heat of imitation leather from hospital guest beds. Who knew waiting rooms were carriers of sweaty fevers, making it impossible to dream, making it impossible also to sieve dream from memory? What could I have said to raise you from the dead? What do volumes of elegies contain that I don't? Their own inabilities to say the unsaid to the one who will unsee, unhear, untouch, unmove, understand. I am trying to backpack through the geography of a future without you, my compass. And nobody has written a Lonely Planet guide titled 100 Getaways Without Mother. Or let's produce a reality TV show for contestants to adventure through losses on a shoestring budget. Today, you're not allowed to say the deceased name. Today, you're not to remember the way she smiled when she said yours. You cannot hold faith as a torchlight over reality's head tonight, and you will be disqualified if you re-enter the symmetry of this world with longing as your wild card. For your last challenge, you must dump the vanishing remains into a glass exhibit and create an event of everything that is. Label it was. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't remember a time in my life when either my mother or father or me have exchanged the words I love you with each other. We just don't do that where I grew up. What of love? No, what of it really? My mother makes breakfast, lunch and dinner. My father goes to his sari shop. My mother deals with my exam atrocities. My father asks, will you come first in class this time or not? My mother turns prayer beads 1,188 times for an easy question paper. My father goes to the shop. My mother makes a feast at the drop of a guest. My father brings me firecrackers on Diwali, per the list I give him, never a surprise. My mother cries and whimpers. My father raises his voice like a firecracker. My mom does too, I cry. My father asks, have you learnt this crying drama from your mother? We don't have a carpet in our house, but oh, if we did, sweep, 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 everything goes under. My mother is married to a kitchen. My father is married to his shop. I learn up the words to the latest love song. This is what I know of love, mostly. Like every good narcissistic poet, I love the sound of my voice, so please give me a clue when my time's getting over and I will fuck off.
I'll go like this when you have 5
yeah,
minutes left. Okay,
that's cool.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Shorthand violence. A. Physical force. Any minute the curl of his fingers caressing a scotch glass can round into a fist crashing. The spine of a wall, my father, his love, a complex blend, held in oak with finishing notes of honey. B. Self-directed. Look up how to kill. Refuse to look up. At ceiling fan, look up at the insects instead on the night lamp. Verify if they are dead or wise with too much light. C. Threatened or actual violence. All letters are odes to spaces my mother left behind, addressed to my father, never to be sent. D. Intentional use. The year I forgot to notice your refusals of sex, ex-boyfriend, each time I was the one asking. Your hunger, I realize, must be served, not induced. E. Deprivation. All of the above. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have fans of ghazals in the room? People like ghazals? Alright, my mom used to sing a lot of Urdu ghazals back in the day. But the thing with ghazals is that in Urdu the lyrics are sometimes hard to remember, but the refrain always sticks with you. So she used to say the same thing again and again, and I love that, the musical quality of ghazals. So obviously I had to write her one. Ma sang ghazals as she oiled my hair. To find bits of you in the mirror, mother, I let down my hair. I've got my father's ugly jaw and hooked nose, but you stay wound in my hair. A cup of hot Horlicks shakes in my hands as you plait my alopecia, baldness braids, a big frown in my hair. Golden Globes on TV, Susan Sarandon crossing fingers in a red gown for stepmom. She loses by a hair. Jagjit Singh on the radio, your favorite ghazal singer, as you massage my scalp, your fingers dance to his ghazal sounds in my hair. Eggs, beer, shikakai, henna. Each Sunday afternoon, we tried a new magic potion to turn around our hair. To make lung cancer lighter, I got you a headscarf with marijuana leaves, joking weed will grow where hair cannot. Cannot a day pass without you falling in the grey of my carpet and pillowcase, resting grounds of this hair. I want to lean on you like the curl resting on your shoulder. Your absence is a dark number equal to strands found in this hair. Chikku, you'd worn my house name. Don't laugh at my off-key singing. You'll remember it abound once I'm out of your hair.
This team is communication.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cinnamon, peppermint, chamomile.
This is
That's all.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Mark.
much. Jesus.
Well, not quite.
This is one of the reasons I love being a writer. Thank you. Repair and maintenance. My father euphemizes going to poop as vacation. An average trip inside the bathroom is 35 minutes long. And we have only one in our house. Like a nice spa for my body, he says. Unless his phone rings inside and it is an aunt's, son's, friend's, uncle's, second cousin's daughter inquiring about the what, why, where, how, what now of a certain cancer. And through the bathroom door, I can hear him croon. Addresses of hospitals rehearsed, doctors memorized by first names and specializations, and a chorus of home remedies, as if treating cancer is his long-forgotten hobby. Come stay with us, we'll fix this together, he says, this body trapped in your mouth, chest, lung, stomach, colon. Then he pauses and paces in a retreat of his own inadequacies, trying to redeem what he lost. As if a stranger's life lengthened is my mother being reincarnated, as if becoming a bed and breakfast for cancer is injecting grief with morphine. As if opening our doors to another's suffering is my father testing his voice like an anxious tourist at the edge of a destination called Echo Point, whispering, I tried, I tried, I tried. Okay. I realized that the theme for today is tombs, right? And I created this, maybe it's not the best thing to read on the mic, but I really love it because it looks like that on the page. It's just a list of things that my mother left behind. I'm going to read that out for you all. Mother's legacy. Ash in newspaper packets that her spiritual healer gave her. A bob cut wig made of horsehair, because human hair is so expensive. Her favorite chant, Om Namo Sai Allah Malik, say it 1188 times. An emergency contact list in her vanity box. A second-hand copy of Food is Medicine, volume 8.1. 4 cotton kurtas, a glass Lakshmi, the goddess of our wealth. 6 eggs, 1 kg tomatoes, dates, fresh, not dry. half an aspirin, a bracelet of charms, a tortoise, a moon, a broken hook, a headscarf with neon marijuana leaves, depression on her side of the bed, a honeymoon journal converted into a recipe book, a plastic Ganesh who is our god of good beginnings, a prayer which became an SOS bell, prescription glasses from 1988 on TV set, silver earring missing its pair, shh, 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 a handkerchief with white lilies, rusty blood on the corners, red sauce cooking method on a paper napkin, where winter met spring, and her voice saying, I'm not going anywhere. All right, thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, let's shake it up a little bit. I'm going to try and do these 3 poems which I like to do as a triptych. Fair trade. I should make myself a museum of all the cum I have helped release. That's right. The width between my spread up thighs is the distance I travel to buy an idea of being loved. Some bodies offer, some bodies receive, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. The second basic rule of accountancy. The negotiation between giving sex, receiving sex, and enjoying sex. The profile picture of the pursuit of love is a mouth rolled over the full length of a dick, lips blanketing teeth. Thoughts inside head sliding up and down your orgasm mighty boyfriend is the glue that will bring us together. I count moles on your chest while you're trying to reach your end or whatever it is that the mind goes to after a small death. 7 years since mother, my pussy is dry, my mouth is dry, dripping wet in my appetite for security in labels. Even watching a film is cumbersome with you, dear boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend. Slip on an intellectual condom over the sit back and enjoy part of my brain. I thought my cunt was big and fertile enough, a hole to grow stability and commitment from. What is this movie watching nonsense about? The stickier it gets, the more you feel thirsty. I see your ass getting whipped by your boss in an open plan office, you behind your laptop forecasting peak seasons for glucose powder that we are both trying to sell. You slip into my chat window, ask, how do I feel about making us sex only? Thank you. First time I've read from this book through the whole, since February. That's the first time I read that poem. Thank you.
You like it?
Thank you. Dog language experts. Bottom line, you only want to fuck? His face mouths a yes, and he says, but chai is allowed. We drink tea, we fuck, we lunch, we fuck at lunch. He mails me concept cards in 5 languages to sell a special nutrition beverage to women with lower blank than others. Assess if the puff-related copy means the same in intent and action. A word or two could be substituted with tighter emotions. What means strong in Hindi, I say, is thick in Marathi. What is resolved in English means ended in Gujarati. I feed back in shorthand. He fucks me. Today we are pretending I am the smart one. What an asshole, right? It's okay, we're all a community of assholes. Everybody has an asshole, we're a community of assholes. Give it up for assholes. Okay. I really needed to hear that after all of that high school language watching. Okay. They have no idea what's coming for them in life.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. He posts sex size. You are talented, baby, but you need an anchor. I want to give him some life-changing advice too. It's called use your blank on my clit instead. But I need an anchor, friends, not him, not him. He wants to be an anchor to someone with a husky voice. He's so sure that deep voice is a sign of high intellect. Like the 80s actress who only did art films. Are you sure you won't get attached to me? He checks so he can rinse out his conscience. and his dick after flipping me over. As doggy baby, doggy please is how we get this job done. Sweet so well tonight. Thank you. All right.
Yes, indeed.
This is the last in the dirty triptych. Don't dip your pen in the office ink pot. The movies with the 80s actress is the appetizer served at the beginning of parties that try too hard to be classy. The question of the lead sexuality is left open too. No definite end, like life, like death, like casual sex. Like my colleague says, he will never let his future daughter have casual sex as he spoons me after casual sex, though I know this daughter will. We both do, we smoke weed, we drink tea, we gasp at how Chuck Palahniuk's head must be so fucked. We fuck, we only fuck. We disappears. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Brain throbs at the speed of sadness. I hear the veins of a leaf getting crushed underfoot and arch. The most ticklish gap in my body. Sex, I have come to you for answers again. All that oh God, oh God, oh Godding must count for something. So, how many men in your books of accounts, Miss Vangani? A male boss quizzes me at my own happy hour. Truth divided by the square root of modesty plus standard deviation cool is equal to. It took me years to understand why interest paid is recorded in books as an asset and why interest received is forever a liability. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so kind. Thank you. Oh my God! Thank you. Stop it, you guys. Thank you so much for the warmth, literal and figurative. Thank you so much for having me, and I promise you I will come back for more open mics.
And that's not figurative.
No, that's a real promise. I'm awake. In this universe, yes.
Okay.
And I have books I would love to sign up for y'all.
So
if anybody wants them, thank you.
Brady and Johnny, ladies and gentlemen, run around. Come on, let's go.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back with more poetry than you've ever dreamed possible.
Thank you. That is so kind.
Yeah, it's probably just lukewarm. Have a seat. Made a pot. It has it loose, so it's so fresh. Smell this.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I can smell it, yeah.
Yeah, it gets it in like after one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
After a month or less, he throws it in, puts it on his plants. He doesn't.
Oh, you can't have it. I teach right now at Sultan Bolingbroke. I said, okay, where? Bolingbroke, the high school which is just by Giri. Yeah. So good to meet you again. I've definitely seen you before. Yeah! Thank you for coming to that reading.
First, I was down. My name's Mark.
219.
Are you available for a week?
Yeah.
No. Yes. What do you think is happening? Do you know any idea what's going on?
It was 2 when I came in here. Washington won a great game yesterday.
What do you think
I play music every
Washington won.
I've seen you before.
Why? Why do you
Oh, yeah. But sometimes I play.
You know what the score is
I
now?
get paid to practice. That's what I call it. Playing on the
8-2, Washington.
No.
Seventh inning.
So anyway,
Everything, the wheels came off in one inning.
Good.
gone there to play 16, but I only played
Well, Houston was, champ what, 2 years ago, last year? 2 years ago, Houston
I see,
was Altuve is fantastic. Like Jeff Kent, there are very few hitters who can hit the ball at their shoulder height with authority. There's very few guys. There's so many guys. 99 out of 100 strike out when it's up at their chest.
No, it's so good. I forgot what it is. What days are you there?
Shoulder high.
Right, so, I mean, I'm so independent in my work. I do all kinds
incredible
of
strength.
organic
I would put them.
landscaping, house cleaning up
Yeah,
after
it's,
crime scene. Like the character.
Well, two guys been hitting me at a couple hits today. And they didn't walk anybody all year.
Washington
And they
had-
walked soda.
You know what I mean? I
to
just
load
give
the
them,
bases.
and I give them like
Washington has
questions.
been, I mean, I remember
I have a
in the
whole
50s,
bunch
those
that
senators
coming.
were the
It's like
worst
they
team in the
tell
world.
me,
They were terrible.
and they don't even
They
know
are
who
so
they are.
overdue.
Standing out front of my
Washington is
back.
so overdue for a World Series. I mean, like Boston was, you know,
And you know what?
by the Cubs.
With a win tonight,
It's right there, right?
they tie a baseball record. You know what it
It's
is?
obvious what I'm doing there.
8
Standing
wins
here
in a
was
row in
regular.
the playoffs.
You know what I mean? Like, so like.
9 wins in a row is another record set right here in the San Francisco Bay when
Nobody wants to be
the
here.
San Francisco
But they
America's
figured
Cup
that
team beat New
they-
Zealand by winning 9
What
races in a row.
Say, well, I'm doing
That's it. No, that's significant. That's significant. That's
Yeah.
significant.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So if they-
Thank you.
No,
So if they win tomorrow, if the Nationals win Friday, they break Boston's record and tie
Well, obviously, we reacted to the forced
the America's Cup record.
Yeah, no, I mean, I never went back as a paper Sunday. I have to read the room.
Yeah,
You know, but like here, I know, I don't get it.
Yeah. Because they all with you. We're like him. You know, it's like,
We have to keep each other quiet.
Yeah.
Force each other to be quiet.
I can't, once I start, I can't stop. Once he starts and I start, we start to go back and forth. And then it's like, you start the I can't.
And they're the ones that got more
I haven't been able to access.
What's a
but
Nord?
I wonder if.
What's a what?
A Nord.
Listen.
N-O-R-D?
You're-
Yeah, it is
North.
true.
It's the French for North.
And then
North.
singers.
Let me see.
No, but I mean, what instrument? Because that's an interest.
I will investigate.
I find when I do find it, you know, like.
Oh, I don't know what it
else is a brilliant.
Yeah, it's an instrument. I have no idea. Maybe it's electric piano or.
If I'm sitting right behind and I'm just.
I have no idea. Maybe it's a modern synthesizer.
And I know how to.
Maybe it's a percussion instrument from some obscure land that we never heard of.
Zero. Except the person's name. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's north in
Really
French
difficult. I'm not
and
gonna say
Italian is
very hard
north.
because of those last
It's
two
an E at the end. Yeah, similar. Spanish is north.
Nationals
North.
off and wheels came off.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same. With the rest
That's
of
good.
Well, sometimes the words are totally different, but
Yeah.
certain things they all follow the same root word from Latin. But other times they picked up words from other cultures.
When I remember,
Spanish picked up a lot of
go back and
Spanish picked
take
up a
care
lot
of
of
that.
Arab words. And Italian picked up.
Good book, by the way.
Yeah, I'm looking. I want.
Oh, we didn't turn this on. Hold on a second. I got to turn this on for a second.
You gotta know what you're doing.
Well, you know, a lot of people here